Today I'm bringing you a performance test with the Perekevolt brand battery versus the original 9 amp hour DEWALT brand battery. I also purchased two DEWALT XR saws so that when performing the respective tests, both batteries are in equal conditions. On this receipt, you can see that they charged me for one of the saws and they also charged me for the original DEWALT brand battery. The other saw was charged to me on a separate receipt. On the top part, you can observe that there's the original DEWALT brand battery, and on the bottom part is the perekevolt brand battery in its original box. Right now, they're out of their boxes, and I give you 100% certainty that between one battery and the other, there's no difference in size, in length, width, and height. Millimetrically speaking, you can't tell the difference. The only difference I see is the logo on both sides of each battery. I'll charge the batteries to 100% so that when performing these tests, there isn't any battery that has differences in the charge level. I'll also use a multimeter so that you can see that before starting the tests, the batteries are in equal charge conditions and that this video is a demonstration video so that you decide if it's worth it or not to buy this product. The batteries are at 100% charge. As you can see, both batteries have the 3 charge lights, so I'll proceed to perform these tests so that you determine if it's worth it or not to buy this product. At this moment, I already have the stopwatch ready, and I have the 2 saws installed using 2 small clamps to prevent the saws from falling and to avoid any type of accidents. I'll utilize these tiny little nickel strips to be able to accurately measure the specific voltage levels with the multimeter, and so that you can clearly see that the batteries at the time of performing the test are in exactly the same starting conditions. I'm going to use this multimeter and I'll put it on the 200 volt setting because these batteries usually always mark a bit above 20 volts. I'll start by testing the original DEWALT brand battery. The display shows it's currently reading at exactly 20.8, and the perekevolt battery is marking 20.8 at the same level as well. As you can clearly see right here, both batteries are at exactly the same voltage level to be able to conduct these comprehensive tests without any type of unfair competitive advantage between one battery and the other. I'm going to carefully take off these small nickel strips on each of these 2 battery packs so that I can properly install them back into the tools. On the tools, I use some plastic zip ties so that the power button stays permanently pressed down. To start things off, I am going to install the perekevolt battery first. I'll set the timer now and get this perekevolt battery up and running right away. The actual difference in seconds between one battery and the other will likely be quite minimal and barely noticeable. The volume perekevolt battery is already working, and I'll install the original DEWALT brand battery. Both of these saws are now up and running. They are actively working through the material, and with the timer going, we will also see exactly how long they can last while working and which specific battery lasts longer than the other one. I'll speed up the video to 100x, otherwise this video would get way too long. You can also see that I'm trying to carefully set up the countdown timer on the phone, but with the tool's vibration, in the course of the video, you can see the phone eventually slides and falls right off the table. But the digital timer I have in front continues to stay perfectly active and visible, so it's really not a problem at all. So right now, I'm going to carefully place the phone on this tripod I have here next to me, so you can clearly see that this video isn't edited at any point, and that the only thing I'll actually do is speed it up slightly so it doesn't take too long, and the final video doesn't get too long for you to watch. So I'll proceed to set up the phone here on the tripod, and I'll speed up the video as much as the editing software allows me, and I'll speed it up to 100%. At this point, it's already sped up, so all that's left is to wait and see which battery lasts longer than the other. It looks like seconds are passing on the timer, but in reality, they're minutes that are ticking by. You can see in the background, in the back, how the video is sped up to the max. And here we can see that I stopped speeding up the video and the perekevolt brand battery died first. But remember that this battery was the first one I installed in the tool. So we'll see what the difference in durability is between one battery and the other, and if it's worth it. Speaking of prices, if the time it lasts between one battery and the other is worth it. This video isn't meant to discredit any brand. My only goal is for you to see, under equal conditions between one battery and the other, using the same tools, which one lasts longer than the other. As you can see, the DEWALT brand battery just died in its tool as well. And the only difference, I think, wasn't even a minute between one battery and the other. Now, you can't really see that much of a time difference. The most was 1 minute. If you like this video, support it with a like, and I'll leave the purchase link down here in the video description, also available on Amazon under the name Perekevolt.